All right, wrestling fans, you got the show Bill Schuyler here at One Wrestling's Total Impact, courtesy of the Schuyler Report, and let's explain how we got here today. Now, you may know me from my NXT reports, and of course from the Big Slam Nation. Well, this week in professional wrestling there was a draft, and we had our own draft and our own live show for the first time at the Big Slam Nation. Check it out on YouTube. Big Slam Nation goes live for SmackDown Live. With that, there was a draft. And FAMEBLACK, he got drafted to Raw. And OKAYFABE, well, he got drafted to SmackDown Live. And, well, I got drafted to Impact Wrestling. Now, before you go off and say, well, you know, that's really not part of the WWE universe. Well, we're not just part of the WWE universe here. Oh no, we cover wrestling in every form and facet as it comes across. Whether it's New Japan, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, anything the WWE is doing, whether it was Ring of Honor, whether it is Ring of Honor, whether it's TNA Impact Wrestling, whether it's Impact Wrestling, whatever you want to call it. Okay, what I'm calling it is this. Very confusing. Alright, when I last left Impact Wrestling as a massive fan, well, there was a lot of guys that were there. Guys by the name of AJ Styles, guys by the name of Austin Aries, Bobby Roode. I might go down the list here. And you know what? These guys are all gone. They're all in the WWE. Kurt Angle, he's going off on his own for now, looking to be in retirement, certainly to head his way to the Hall of Fame in the WWE, I'm sure, at one point. But here I am with a lot of guys that I do know, and we're going to talk about what happened on this week's Impact Wrestling for sure. But I want to talk about things that need to be done in Impact Wrestling that have not been done. And in my opinion, something that's been left loose for a long time. That was something that was part and parcel, the heart and soul of TNA when I was one of the biggest fans of the company. That being the X Division. The X Division has fallen far, far from grace. I'm looking at this division now. No superstars coming across it. No great stars do I see except for a couple who may make it their way. The division is very small. Now, the world of professional wrestling right now is big. It's huge. That's right. Channeling Donald Trump is huge. That being cruiserweights. And the X Division, my God, was all about guys in that style of wrestling. Yes, size didn't matter. Weight limits didn't matter. But for the most part, it was guys that 230 range and down who were the best guys to make it in that division. This is what they need to do. They need to reboot. They need to end Option C. End it. Yeah, it worked for Austin Aries, and it only should have been available for that 1 year only. That was a Hulk Hogan deal. That was the Eric Bischoff deal, because they hated the X Division and they wanted to put a stake through its heart. And the way I'm looking at it now, they wounded it, they hurt it badly, and it's still just limping around, and it's not where it needs to be. That's a story for another day. We'll deal with that down the road. But the X Division, I'm looking at it here for TNA, and it just doesn't do what it needs to do. I mean, they've got some tremendous wrestlers on this roster now, going back to the main roster for the whole thing. You got Bram, you got EC3, you got Eli Drake. That's right, I said Eli Drake. He's one of the best superstars that they've come with in this new era of TNA. Of course, EC3 is the best damn thing that TNA, the ass-kicking machine that he is. He is a face right now. He was best as a heel, and I think he'll be a heel again. Drew Galloway, outstanding. All right, these guys right here are going to carry the torch for this company. Bobby Lashley is what he is. He is a very, very good wrestler. He has come a long way on the microphone. but he wears this stupid headband on his head, and I can't stand it. I know it's for him to sell merchandise, but it's stupid. Take the headband off, Bobby. That's right, and just focus on spearing the living daylights out of everybody that comes against you in the ring. I'm just saying, the headband gimmick, it's stupid. And it's catching because I saw some other guy wearing some kind of headgear, and it was stupid. Alright, I digress. I'll leave the headbands alone, and let's just talk about, well, we're talking about Bobby Lashley. He came out after a vignette in the beginning of the show, which we'll see again a little later on, with broken Matt Hardy and Brother Nero, Jeff Hardy. This was something that brought a lot of fans back to TNA for the last couple of weeks, and new fans to them, was the deletion of Brother Nero, the rise of Baby Maxwell, and broken Matt Hardy and his lovely wife, Reby Sky. Yes, if you haven't seen the deletion of Matt Hardy, or Jeff Hardy, and that entire gimmick that went on just 2 weeks ago, a week ago, my God, who knows, it seems just like it was yesterday, that obviously you haven't been watching TNA Wrestling. Check it out, because it continues on into this week's episode of Impact Wrestling. Let's just hit it. They're there, Broken Hardy, Brother Nero. He wants to ride his motocross bike up over that hill that he wrecked himself on last time because he wants to overcome his fear. And then Matt Hardy comes and let him know that he wants him to jump it, but he won't make it because he's just a stupid mule. Stupid mule. I digress. Check it out. You'll find it amazing. Now, EC3 is all about wanting to take care of Moose, who came out chirping that he wants to do things. He's hot at Eddie Edwards. He's hot with Michael Bennett. That's a whole lot of interesting things going on here in TNA. All over the place in some things, and this is always a problem that goes on down in Impact Wrestling. Tighten it up, make it a little better, get your writing team to take it and make TNA stand out even more. I mean, originality, apparently they have it here. It's time to start showing it on this program, on the in-ring action, the feuds, and the like. I'm not sold on Impact Wrestling right now, and they're going to have the opportunity, since I have been drafted to be the guy telling you about Impact Wrestling each and every week. Well, it's time for them to put up or shut up, because I'm going to throw the gauntlet out there. I'm going to be there on Twitter. I'm going to be telling them what's wrong. I'm going to be telling them what's right, and I want them to listen. So you hear me, Dixie Carter? You will be, because I am the show, and I know professional wrestling. And right now, Impact Wrestling is not where it once was. It's not where it should be. And yeah, they've come almost from the grave. They rose up this time, and it looked like they were going to die twice. We don't want them to die a third and final time, because we all know that that third and final time is the end. Am I right? I mean, horror fans, you know what goes on the third and final time. It's over. We have what starts out one of my favorite times of the year, despite the unbelievable horror that was last year's Bound for Glory, was it? Where they had a show in Japan, and I try to erase it from my memory. But we're here at the Bound for Glory playoffs. Playoffs? Did you say playoffs? Playoffs. That's right. And we got EC3, two-time champ, the ass-kicking machine, going up against former champion Drew Galloway. They had a very good promo, a shooting match between the two of them going back and forth. They begin to go head-to-head like they're going to tear it down. And then Eli Drake comes out. And again, an awesome, awesome talent on the mic and in the ring, and your current King of the Mountain champion. Yes, they made a singles title out of a King of the Mountain match. I don't know how they've done this. It's confusing to me, but I'll have to go back in the day and find out how they did this. We got EC3 going over top of Eli Drake in a solid match, a great outing by the King of the Mountain champion, but EC3 was just that much better. Now, I'm not going to be going into a match, calling it as we see it, ba-boom, down the road, ba-boom, this guy, and he put him in an arm rest. No. Not this week, at least. I'm just here to be quick and concise, to the point, and just get my feet wet a little bit as I study and try to find out exactly what's going on in Impact Wrestling on a whole. Because the only thing I've known about Impact Wrestling since, say, last December was the deletion of Jeff Hardy. So, here we go. Then we got, let me see. We go to Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy. Come on, Mule. Backstage. And it's Matt Hardy talking to Vanguard 1. Oh, Vanguard 1, I'm so happy and love to see you. Who will be my opponent for next week? Things to that effect. Boom. It pops up and shows that he'll be going up against EC3. Brother Nero, EC3. Matt Hardy will overcome EC3 next week. Matt Hardy, my friends, is a genius with this gimmick. Then we're going to have a state of the knockouts. The knockouts division. What in the world happened to my knockouts division? There's a couple faces here. I see Madison Rayne. I see Gail Kim. And I see Cherry Bomb. Although it's not Cherry Bomb anymore. She's blonde and she's going by the name of Allie. And she's got a real high-pitched, annoying voice. But she's freaking, I don't know, she's mesmerizing. You know why? Because Cherry Bomb's one of the best women wrestlers in the business today. And a matter of fact, Cherry Bomb and her husband, Pepper Parks, a.k.a. Brayton Sutter here on Impact Wrestling. I'm going to find this out as I go over the last few months. Both of them had a name change. They're here in TNA, and they're making a go of it. And for what I'm seeing with Allie, it's really going well. And then there's a bunch of women. I have no clue who they are. They look good. They seem like they have a... I'm sorry, there's Jade and Marty Bell. I know them. I know them from the Indies, and I know them from a brief foray I had in there for TNA a couple months ago, but that was only for one episode. Boom! Gail Kim is going to wind up having to face all the knockouts to get a title shot. Madison Rayne took Gail Kim out right then and there, telling her who's boss, basically showing her we got to be our own, go for it for ourselves, and leaves Gail laying there in the ring. Of course, Maria Kanellis, a genius, as she was down in Ring of Honor with her husband in the Kingdom. They blasted off here with this gimmick when I first saw them at the pay-per-view down in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, where they made their debut with the Miracle and all that. And glad to see that Michael Bennett is getting his shot at the big time here, since apparently the WWE didn't think that he was good enough to go there, which I really don't understand. I think he would have been fantastic in NXT, but we're here to talk about Impact Wrestling here and not NXT. I'll talk about that a little later on this weekend. Let's see. So from that we go to Madashira. He's still here, the Indian sensation, and he's being jumped by two guys at Sylvester LaFour and his tag team they were in NXT. They're not. It's Baraka and Dax, this new French tag team here, taking out Madashira. Perfect. Take him out, stomp him. Guy's got I don't know. He's not my cup of tea. I much rather would have seen there was an Indian superstar in the WWE that got let go. His name changed here on the now he's on the Indies, and I can't think of it at this time. TNA should have signed him and not this guy. And we get another Bound for Glory match here. We got Bram going up against Galloway. Bram, one of my favorite wrestlers on this roster, going up against Galloway, who's one of my favorite wrestlers, period. And Bram's changed his look a bit. He's taken the beard down. He's got that whole 300 thing going. And these guys, just two big, good-natured brawlers, one from there in London and the other one from Scotland. And these guys are just beating the living hell out of each other in this match. It's back and forth, back and forth. And Bram loses to Galloway. Galloway moves forward into the Bound for Glory series. Then your main event, 6 Sides of Steel, Bobby Lashley, Eddie Edwards, in what I feel is an atrocity. Yes, Option C has now mutated into the fact that if whoever wins both the world title and the X Division title. What are you talking about? This was supposed to help the X Division guy get his shot at a title he normally couldn't get, not to give the heavyweight title guy a chance to be the X Division star. They've got to destroy this Option C. It needs to die, and die quickly. You know what? With this, Bobby Lashley wins. I'm not going to go into him and Eddie Edwards. Bobby Lashley wins. Eddie Edwards, I'm foreseeing that when Davey Richards makes his return, Eddie had a great run moving up in the singles. That I see Eddie Edwards, Davey having it out, going to it, just like Ring of Honor, where these guys are going to fight against each other in a long-standing feud, paying off in a major pay-per-view towards the end of the year. That's what I'm calling right now. That's all I got to say for this week at Total Impact. I know it may not be, it's not what you were thinking. It's not exactly what I was thinking it was going to be, but it's what we wound up with. And next week, as I grow into this Impact Wrestling world of 2016, I'm expecting things to be a little bit more developed on my end. And Miss Carter, Billy Corgan, I'm expecting to see things developed a little more on your end. With that, I am the show, Bill Schuyler. Follow me at You Got the Show on Twitter. Follow One Wrestling at One Wrestling Video, at OneWrestling.com, and at One Wrestling on Twitter. Follow Bill Apter at Apter One Wrestling. That's right, he is the boss, the guru, the man, the Godfather, if you will. And follow the Big Slam Nation at the Big Slam Nation. And with that, I'll see you guys down the road and at the matches.